Coach MJ from the Real Mission Impossible show. Today, our guest, her name is Zeina Daroub. Zaina is from the country of Lebanon, which has a huge history worldwide in the news. Many of you have heard about the war in Lebanon and different problems, explosions, bankruptcy of the entire country, bank robberies of late for people to get their money out of the country. It is a hard place, must be, for people to live. And yet today, she acts as a therapist, as a coach. She helps people through grief and other issues. And I'd just like to say thank you so much, Zaina, for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Coach. I am happy to be here.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
I had some experience out in your part of the world, and I remember how sometimes tough it was to even get a generator to work so that electricity or the Carabot would be on, that we could have a broadcast like this. So I'm blessed that we're able to continue this conversation today.
Well, actually, it's still the same.
Still the same.
Still the same.
Okay.
Yeah. But
so,
what changes only our mindset.
All right.
Because whenever we want, we get it.
There you go. All right. So broadcasting with lots of light. And we're going to ask you to just unpack your story a little bit. I found it fascinating what I found out about you, but unpack your story just for our audience so they can get to know you and your story a little better.
All right. So I'm going to start with your introduction. I'm a grief coach. I help people how to ride the waves of grief and to live with a purpose. I am the co-founder of In-Out Academy for training and coaching. I am a self-development trainer, and I am a writer. I have my own novel book, and I'm writing my second book for the moment. So how did I get here? This is my story. Actually, it started at the ripe age of 18, when everything changed for me. So I went into the field of the corporate world when I was 18 only. So leaving school behind and even leaving university behind because of the financials, because of war, because of all the impossibilities that unfortunately our country held. So I had to go into the maze of life in an indirect way. And I got into the corporate world and the banking field. And there I continued my studies in banking, and I got my license. And then after it, I got my higher diploma in banking. And after that, like every girl who has dreams, so I met my partner and I got married, and I have two beautiful children. And it was the big moment, like I call it, the transformational moment, which I lived, that changed everything in my life. When my partner went into an ailment of disease, it was cancer, and unfortunately he died within 6 weeks, leaving me alone with two minor kids, 8 and 10 years old. So to become a widow, being a woman and a widow are not the same thing. So here everything changed. I went into another maze in life, and I decided to change everything. So I went into the self-development world, into therapy to find myself, and here I am.
Wow. Well, in Arabic, there is a phrase I'd like to share with you right now because you deserve it. Yatik alaf afi.
Yeah, thank you. Yatik al-afi anta kaman. Thank you.
So what courage it's taken for you to take the steps, move forward in your journey, look for the positive, look for a way for you to help serve and empower others in their own journey and their own struggle, whatever that might be. I take my hat off to you for that. Tell me, what I heard you're working on a book, or you have something in mind. What projects are you working on now?
Yeah, now For the moment, actually, I did one big jump lately in November 30, 2021, and I left the bank. So after 27 years being an employee, I decided to be an independent woman. I decided to be on my own. So I discovered that it was not about the financials. It was about that being an employee didn't make my soul grow and myself as a human being. So I decided to work on myself, on training and self-development. And I realized how much I changed. So I found my life purpose. And today, my life purpose as well is to support people. And I do that with writing. So now I'm finishing also my second book. It's gonna be titled Zaman. Zaman in Arabic means time. In addition, of course, to the self-development trainings and the one-to-one coaching that I do regarding related to self-development or soft skills or to grief coaching.
Amazing. And tell me, how are self-development topics in Lebanon today? Are people more interested than ever before?
Yes. Yes, actually, now we are more dedicated. We are more aware, if I may use the term of awareness. Nowadays, we need the awareness of pushing this field, self-development or mental health or well-being, all in the same package, because we do not know ourselves. So we need to know ourselves. So this is now the possibility, and each crisis that hit us will make us go into that field more and more and discover ourselves more and more, because we cannot discover ourselves unless we go through pain, through obstacles, through challenges in life.
Yeah,
and we have a lot of them in Lebanon.
I mean, I'm going to say, Lebanon's got such a reputation for the people being the masters of resilience. I have some very close Lebanese friends and family even, and they, for me, are basketballs because, they can go down in a second, but they'll bounce right back up no matter what.
Exactly.
It's incredible.
Yeah, exactly. So bouncing back, having our setbacks, knowing how to write all the ways of our sorrow. We grieve every day. We lose every day in Lebanon. So to cope even with our losses, with our daily losses, this is grit by itself. And grit to ourselves as Lebanese is simply love.
Well, that's a message for everyone, no matter where they live in every country. Some of my listeners will be wondering, Zaina, I say this with all due respect, have you ever considered moving to a place maybe that was maybe less volatile and less chaotic, if I can use that word?
Yeah, I thought about that actually 2 years ago when the crisis of Lebanon started with the corona first thing, and then it hit the target when we lost our money. So having our money in the banks, and we cannot have access to everything that we gained in our life, made life really, really harder. Yeah, I thought about it.
Yeah.
However, I believe that this country is for us. So we're not gonna leave it.
Yeah. And could you
go? Yeah, I can go whenever I want. I can leave whenever I want. I can go for a visit. I can do my trainings. I can do work. But leaving this beautiful country, no, I will never do that. I love Lebanon. I love Lebanon. I'm from Beirut, from the beautiful city of Beirut, and I would never leave Beirut.
Okay, listen, I wasn't offering you a ticket, but it was a question that had to be asked. Could you help our audience understand what happened? I mean, there's so many things that have been in the news. But before this huge explosion, which is one of the biggest explosions since World War II, and a peacetime explosion, could you tell us what happened in the banks? Is it true that everybody lost their money and all the Lebanese banks were frozen? Their cash, their life savings?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes, it is true. It is true to even say it, or we are still in denial. However, when we talk about a cause and effect, so we need to talk about the cause and we need to talk about the effect. So there is always two in together who takes responsibility. So I believe it's not only responsibility of the banks or responsibility of the country, it is also our responsibility as well. Because for me, I learned a very important lesson is how to do my financial freedom. I never understood what is financial freedom. So we didn't know about that. So there are a lot of parties involved in this, and it is a little bit political. So when it comes to politics in Lebanon, like we say, no words to say. La kalam, we say in Arabic, la kalam, like no comment.
Okay, so
all we need to do is to move forward in life.
Better find a way to go through it, right?
Exactly.
Okay, and what advice? Because you told this harrowing story about the shocking news of. It was almost like you got news that your husband had this terrible diagnosis, and he was gone in 5 minutes. I mean, that was no time at all from the time of his diagnosis to the time that he left this earth. And that had to be so traumatic, would be traumatic for anyone, surprising. You're not used to carrying all that responsibility, and what will you do in life? It must have been totally traumatic. How do you now help someone who's grieving a loss of a loved one? What could you say to them that could maybe help them see a candle ahead in a dark, very dark tunnel?
Well, I would say, look at me. We can do it. There's always a way. There's a way of hope, a way of love, a way of light. There's nothing impossible if we just put our heart into it. So when I thought about myself being in that situation of grief, so I spoke with Zaina. So I spoke with her, and what I did is I wrote down my fears, I wrote down my concerns, and I opened up to my pain and to my sorrow. And I said that I shall not back down, no matter how much disappointment will beside me. I shall continue to walk on the path of hope, which my partner, Tariq, he entrusted me with. So getting back myself is the most important thing. We are here to live. We are here to live, and life is so precious. So we have gratitude, we have hope, we have love, and we have inner power, we have inner resources. So I say to them, use your inner resources, use your inner power. Even though it is tragic, of course, it is painful, yes, it is painful, but from another side, it is doable. So we can do it. We can reach the shore. We can have our anchor of love, and we can tap into our spirituality. Because when I thought about what happened with my husband, I asked myself, why did that happen to me in the beginning? And after that, I redirected my question by saying, what do I need to learn from that? So what did I learn? I learned how to turn every autumn in my life into spring. And this is the title of my book.
That's transformational. And what an inspiration you are to have come to that conclusion yourself. It wasn't easy, I'm sure. You're paraphrasing it. You're giving us the short version of it. And just like any other struggle, you had to go through, crawl on your hands and knees up the mountains of Lebanon, back down the hills of Lebanon, through all of the emotional crisis that you went through, the social stigma you went through as someone who'd lost their husband, the abandonment issues you must have went through, how could he leave me, the blame, the guilt, all of those things must have all been in one toxic cocktail at one moment, and you emerged victorious.
It was
What
a wheel
a,
of emotion. Yeah, it was a wheel. It was a roller coaster of emotions, and it hit me hard. I know. However, we can do it, and this is why my mission now as a grief coach to tap into this and to support people. So yes, and to tell them that they can find purpose in life. They can move forward in life. Yes, despite everything, there is hope.
yeah. And through, this is the kind of, you're the ideal guest for our show, because we're so honored to have you here to talk about
Thank you.
what had to be, for anyone who's listening or watching, an impossible situation. And this impossible situation, you found a way through faith, through your own GPS guidance. You found a new North Star. You came up with a mantra that there's a way, I'm going to find a way, let's do it. And I will. And through that resilience, persistence, determination, you did turn the impossible into an possible situation. And I just
Exactly.
absolutely salute you for that.
Thank you. We call that crystallizing moment of change. So yes, actually, it's not only one crystallizing moment of change in our life. We have so many crystallizing moments of change in our lives, because change, yes, is scary, yet change will move us. Change will take us to emerge in ourselves. And this is what happened with me. Actually, I have a very beautiful saying for Wayne Dyer. So he said that you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Yes.
We need to change in our lives. We need change in our lives. We need to go outside our comfort zones and grow. This is why we are here.
Well, Zaina, you say that with so much courage, and of course, you've evolved. I mean, you're not the same person you were before. Your mindset is different. You look at things different. You've just made reference to a quote that if we change the way we look at things, we change everything.
It is about perception. It is
think
all about perception.
I don't think anyone, though, Zaina, goes to a travel agent and says, I'd like to go to a new crystallizing moment in my life. No one looks for this.
No one.
Right?
Yeah, of
It
course.
hits you like the hammer of Thor. And when it does, how you then decide to cope with that, see that, deal with that, and how you emerge from that truly says the difference between the integrity of your character or not. And you've
Exactly,
definitely proven that you're a champion.
Yeah, because that moment that you are speaking about, Coach, that moment, that crystallizing moment, it is when it's a moment when negative emotions guide you to a painful realization. But guess what? It is through that painful realization that you will be liberated from your pain. And this is how that we will have this spiritual resurrection, as I call it, and as I experienced it in my life. It was a spiritual resurrection, and I did it through faith, through meditation, through a lot of things and going on with me. And I learned that death is but another phase of life. This is how I saw it.
And of course it is. There's no coming back from that, literally. And yet, through that grief counseling qualification that you have now, it seems to me that you could also help people with other types of loss, not necessarily the loss of a life, the loss of a romantic partner. Maybe they broke up.
Exactly.
The loss of a job. Maybe they're lost career-wise, and they identified with their previous position, and they don't know where they are. So,
and you know what loss is terrifying? The loss of our dreams, and the one biggest loss is the loss of ourselves. So
yes.
when we lose our dreams, we're over, and when we lose ourselves, we're done.
Yes, and I'm sure for people, in all due respect, I'm sure for people who are going through that tunnel in the beginning of that, they do feel all of that. They do feel like they've lost themselves, they've lost their dreams, and they feel hopeless, and there's no possibility for them to be happy or to see themselves at a party and laughing, because they've lost all of their identity of the life that they had has been taken away. The difference.
Yeah, I have been there. Yes, I have been there, and I experienced what you are saying, and I know it isn't easy at all. And sometimes it sounds impossible. It sounds impossible to me. So how to turn it into possible? How to can and do and will?
Yeah.
So how to do that?
Yeah, how?
Yeah. So it is a process. Actually, it is a process, and we go with it through the journey. So it is a journey of life. It is not just you click on the button and 1 second, yes, I grieve, and another second, I'm happy. No, it's not like that. It's all about the journey, how you go with this journey, how you feel with this journey, how you accept your emotions, how you accept everything that's going on with you. And the most important, how you cope with it and how you take action on it. So moving forward and taking action on it, what I mean by that is to have a purpose. So when I discovered that I have a purpose in life to support people, I found myself. So we need to have purpose in life. We need to know that we are here to do something. We are here to a certain growth. We are not here only to play and to enjoy life only. No, we have a mission in life, a spiritual and beautiful mission. So how this mission will be for us, of course, everything in life is sometimes black, sometimes white. So there's always the opposite of life, and we need to go through all of it.
I think you're a very inspiring leader, not just for women there, but for anyone there and anyone who's listening. I'm sure they would like to reach out to you, get in touch, and know more. How would they do that? Do you have a website? Do you have a profile that you could share with our audience?
Yes, of course. I have my LinkedIn page, In Out Academy, if they want to follow me. And I have also on LinkedIn page my name as Zeina Darood. They can follow me. And of course, all the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, all in the same name. The website is coming soon. Also, it's under construction. It's coming soon as well. And all the social media. And also we have our YouTube channel under In Out Academy name as well, In Out Academy.
Did I understand that right? Under In Out Academy?
In Out Academy, yes.
Oh, okay, sorry. The name is In Out Academy.
In Out Academy, yes, because everything has to start from within. So Carl Jung, the father of psychology, he said that who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. So it is all a game of inside out. So everything that we perceive inside ourselves, we projected outside ourselves. So if we perceive love, we will project love. If we perceive hope, we will project hope.
Zeina Daroub, you stepped on a ground that no longer existed overnight, and then yet you found a trampoline to bounce back and make the impossible possible. Congratulations. Great having you on the show. I look forward to speaking again with you soon. Thank you so much for your
Thank you, Coach.
coming on today.
Thank you, Coach.